the rule, but it was just like this, like, oh, okay, the captain trusts me. And I was able to go into that second tour as a corporal, as someone that the leadership knew and trusted because of that moment. And it taught me that, like, you know, this isn't a moment in combat. This isn't me reacting to a bomb. This isn't me in the moment of, like, quote unquote glory. Like, this was just a young kid learning how the world worked and, like, deciding, oh yeah, like if you are confident, speak up.
Step up to the plate.
Yeah, step up to the plate.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. So post all these deployments, post getting blown up by an ID, which is crazy. I'm glad you're here, brother. That's fucking awesome, man. And thanks for reaching out to us too and coming on, man. I really appreciate it. So I guess your transition out of the Marines into what you do now in this space, like, what was kind of that transition?
That was rough.
And what would you suggest to guys getting in or out, or maybe still looking for some sort of purpose?
So I started a podcast a long time ago, you know, plug.
Yeah. What was the name of it?
It was called Veteranology. And
okay,
that's right. It was to talk to veterans who had found what came next. That's all it was about. I didn't care what it was. I wasn't just looking for entrepreneurs or anyways, it was police officers, firefighters, anybody who had found what was giving them purpose next. And a lot of that stemmed from the fact that I went through what I've deemed this 7-year roller coaster. Because you get out, it's like, oh yeah, I'm out. No one can tell me what to do anymore. Oh yeah, that happened. That happened. That happened. That happened. And so you start kind of digesting all this negative stuff. And I went through a ton of survivor's guilt. It just wrecked me inside. I was drinking all the time. Girlfriends didn't want to put up with me. End up on the kitchen floor trying to figure out how to end it. And had a dog pull me out of it. But, I don't think I know I'm unique. I don't think I'm special. But what I would say to young guys getting out now is like, hey, life is a marathon. Learn while you can. And this is kind of advice I would give marketers now, talking to people in my field, which is like, things are going to change every 2 years. You know, we're getting to the point where things change every 1 year. You want to, and you have been given the skills in the military to adapt and overcome. And that's how you need to approach your career, your relationship troubles. Like, nothing is a steady state. And I think that's what we're looking for when we get out of the service. We think that, the Marine Corps and the Army and everything, it's so crazy. And like, now I get to be on this path. It's like, that path doesn't exist. You keep creating that path. You just get put in charge of it. And, again, you're going to get kicked in the face. You're going to get kicked in the groin. Just get up. And if you have a goal, stick to it. If it ends up being a dumb goal, forgive yourself, choose a different one. Like, that's the other thing. Give yourself some grace. You went through a lot. You're going to continue going through a lot. When I got out of the service, within a year of getting out of the service, I lost my mom. Punch in the face. And I had to keep going. So.
Yeah. Man, thanks for sharing. I mean, that's not an easy thing to share either. Like, that's one thing I've learned in the podcast, and that choked me up a little bit. Anytime suicide has been something that's been like super close to me. I've had a lot of friends experience it, and I'm grateful anytime anybody comes out on the other side of it, man, just because of how much has been right at the forefront of people that I know firsthand. And it seems to happen every year, and knock on wood, it hasn't happened this year yet already, but it's not just one person, it's multiple people now. Yeah. And some of those people have served our military and stuff like that. And I know it's the leading cause of death right now for veterans. So I appreciate it when guys like you share that. What is happening? Why did you dissolve the podcast? Because I think that's a brilliant idea. Is it just time? And
I bought a Jeep It's all
Love
good
it.
stories.
Yeah.
All good stories. I bought a Jeep,
Time suck right
Like a
there.
CJ7 or like a new Jeep?
a newer Jeep. It was a
Okay.
2011. It was 2017 when I bought it. And right after I bought it, I was like, oh, I'm going to go into the mountains. So I go into the mountains and I come out and I had turned my phone off. And I'd always been told, Jay, you don't take vacation. You need to take more vacation. So I come out of the mountains. I took like a long weekend. I was like, oh man, it's all I can do. I have to get back to work. I'm such a workaholic. I'm really fighting that. But
Well, you're passionate about what you do and you're doing something that you enjoy, right? Like how important is that?
well, I wasn't passionate at that time. I
Okay.
was trying to prove something. I was a small town kid who had brushed up against people who had gone to the Ivy Leagues. And I looked at them and said, you're nothing special. And so I had a chip on my shoulder. And it was a very detrimental chip for a while. So it wasn't passion. It was
Funny
anger.
how ego can do that. huh?
Yeah. Ego is the enemy for sure.
Yeah.
But I come out of the mountains and I look at my Facebook and Hurricane Harvey is happening. And I just thought, well, I'm going to go down there and help. I don't know how I'm going to do it. Maybe I'm just helping out at a soup kitchen. I don't know, but I'm going to go down. I called my boss. I said, hey, I need another week. I'm going down to help with Hurricane Harvey. And he's just like, okay. So I threw a bunch of beans, dry food, rice, and everything. I just filled up the back of the Jeep, brand new Jeep, and I decided to drive into a disaster area. And